walking past. And I was just trying to do the live thing.
For the full version of this podcast, you will need to listen to it in its native audio form. You can do this by using a podcasting platform such as Podbean or iTunes from your mobile device. Be sure to follow the FullBOOST podcast for episodes as soon as they are released. Just a quick note that we currently have a 15% off sale in our online shop, where we've just received shipment of some new style stickers. Get onto them quick as they won't last long. But now onto the podcast. Alright, welcome back to FullBOOST podcast episode 4, and we've got Frank from Dandy Engines.
How you going, guys?
And once again George is with us.
How you going, boys?
So, you just got back from Drag Challenge. Frank?
Still catching up on sleep.
Yeah, tell me about it. It's pretty draining, isn't it?
Oh,
I haven't experienced it yet, but we'll wait and see.
Most people are pretty thrashed before you even get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's probably the most, the adrenaline takes over, and I think you forget the hours and the nights that you're doing throughout the day and night. So, the only thing we had going through our heads is like, because we'd never done it before, what to expect. Have we covered everything? So you do. Your mind runs away and you forget about your normal day and how long you're making your days before you even get there.
Oh yeah, yeah. The days kind of just merge into one.
Did you have much drama coming into it though?
Not dramas. The dramas I had was out of time. There's no time.
Yeah. But with the car, it was pretty straightforward, yeah?
The car was straightforward.
Yeah,
It's not like we haven't driven it on the street.
But you had to change a lot to get it in street.
No. I didn't have to change
Not a lot.
I'm not saying that to make the car look like, I don't drive it on the street. So the exhaust has been hanging on the roof for the last year or two. And since then, we've changed Joe from ProFab changed the dump pipes. So we had to readapt all the exhaust back to the new dump pipes. I've always had a different fuel cell I never liked. So Sean Lynch made me a brand new fuel cell. And we positioned it in the car, so we had, points of adjustability. So
and an alternator, pretty much.
And then we had to put an alternator on the car, which I always had a vacuum pump in that area.
Yeah. So did you piss the vacuum pump off to put the alternator
got rid of the vacuum pump, ran breathers.
You haven't got a whole lot of room down there, I noticed.
Look, it gets busy, it's probably car wasn't, it's got 2 shocker towers in there at the best of times. And, to try and fit all that other stuff in there and make it user-friendly to work on.
Yeah.
Like, people don't realise, you're going to try and go fast to drag challenge. You're going to pull spark plug there. You're going to,
It has to be user-friendly.
It's got to be user-friendly.
It's got to be user-friendly, man, yeah. But that's with anything when you're building something. If you've been doing it long enough, that's like when I'm building a set of manifolds.
And you're doing it in the dirt.
Yeah, well. Not to mention doing it in the dirt, dust. I had more hay in my hair and my helmet than I saw on the ground.
Wow.
But it's definitely a must for any car enthusiast of that level that likes to thrash their cars.
Yeah.
That likes to drive their cars. It is the most undescribable feeling on Monday morning, knowing that you're going to be united with your car for the whole week.
I heard a few people sort of midway through the event saying, "I'm never doing this again." Look, but at the end of the day, it's like, did you just expect to come in and just have no problem?
No problem.
I did think the same thing. I mean, I could remember thinking to myself, because we had a rough morning Monday morning and a Sunday night, and I thought the same thing. Coming probably 1:30 when I was really struggling. And I was like, what have I got myself into? Like,
questioning life.
I think I think I've opened the door for everyone to slam me on the internet that, didn't agree to our 7.0 pass being a street car, blah, blah, blah,
Because you had some internet.
Oh, we had
wars
heaps.
on the lead up.
Oh, look, 4 or 5 weeks before, we ran 7000204 nearly, and it's like a lot of people debated what's a street car. That's not a street car, and in my eyes, it's a street car because of the fact that it's built on a production line. The car hasn't been chopped up. Not taking anything away from anyone that has a chopped up car. I'm just saying, it's original tubs. It's the factory floor pan from front to rear. Yes, it's got a roll cage. Yes, it's got all the safety gear that allows me to run down a track of that speed. And heaven forbids, I don't want to be caught up in a car that's not safe. You know.
At the end of the day, mate, you got leaf springs and you got a 275 tyre.
Anything can happen. It's inevitable.
Regardless, that's enough of a street car.
But to me, that's yeah. And a lot of people, like, I mean, I think one Facebook, what do you call it, like a post went on for the whole week. I think by the end of the week it was like 850 comments. And
wow.
So yeah, there was a lot of pressure to try and perform. I mean, you know, everyone wants to see, like, you know, like people want to see me do well and people don't want to see me do well. It's just the nature of the beast. People are competitive. Yeah. It's not because they're, you know, malicious or bad.
But but how good did it feel jumping on the bonnet at the end on Friday night and screaming?
That was I swear to God, that was not, you know, pre-rehearsed or nothing. Like,
that was everything. Dude.
I didn't even know if I had won. I was thinking to myself, I knew the numbers in my head were tight.
Yeah.
But I felt pretty confident. Yeah, this is worthy of jumping on that bonnet and
just claiming.
And look, and that was just emotions. I didn't.
That's what I'm saying. Did you feel?
I look at the photos and I think, what an idiot.
Yeah.
You know,
but the weight off your shoulders at that point, yeah.
I felt the weight off my shoulders Friday morning.
Yeah, good.
Waking up Friday in, you know, we stayed not far from the track with all the guys, and just waking up Friday morning, I think I felt the weight off my shoulders because I was right there.
Yeah.
I knew those gates. I was going to drive through those gates.
I think actually watching that the Street Machine video of you and Harry, I think he said the same thing once they rolled up to Calder. It's just like the biggest relief that you've made that round trip. Yeah.
If I hadn't done Drag Challenge, I probably wouldn't understand what he was talking about.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't done it, but I understand what he's talking about. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can just see the raw emotion and that feeling of, what the hell, man? Like, we've just done 5 days of mayhem, or 4 days, and you roll up on that Friday, and you know you're home. Yeah, it's home after that.
That Friday morning, it's like the whole week flashes in front of your eyes, and all the moments that could have put us out.
Yeah. But you had a good team. You had a good car.
Oh, look, you know, I thrive on our product.
Do you have more of an attachment to the car after
you do? Oh yeah, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Like before, it was the car, you know, that you go and you get to get. Oh look, I always love jumping in the car. But this really makes it, makes you tighter. I know it sounds dumb, but you definitely get attached to the car.
No, I've heard a few people say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like on that Real Street video, remember at the end, he basically didn't want to send it. Because he goes, I feel for it. It's been through hell.
We've talked about mechanical sympathy. You know what I mean? Like, you got to have it.
I had no mechanical sympathy.
Nah,
I wasn't
you do.
that.
You do.
I was like, you know, I would have thrown anything at it that day to make it run, but you definitely spend so much time in the car that it's amazing the noises you get to know, and like, you know, if I heard a new noise, I was like, what's that? You know,
just keep going, don't stop.
It's definitely it's definitely a week, and good. It can go both ways. It takes nothing to go the wrong way. We all know that. I had a lot of luck on my side too, you know, like we tried to prepare for things and we did the best we can. And
we create your own luck.
Sorry?
A lot of the time though, you create your own luck.
You try to. You know, it's not all, what's the word? You can't make luck. Luck's got to be on your side. Like we nearly hit a kangaroo at 1 a.m. coming into, you know, on the Calder Highway there somewhere. And it just made me realise it could have ended right there and then.
Yeah.
I could have gone out, and I should have gone out to make another pass on the Thursday. When we went 7:30, I was so excited. I think I wasted an hour and a half, not realising I closed the window on making another pass.
Yeah.
I was only .022 in front of Harry. That anyone that's competitive would have said, well, that's not enough.
Yeah.
Because Friday morning, or Friday, anything could have happened, and it could have just given back, So you've really got to, you can't let the emotions come into it and throw you out.
And Friday, I noticed, was busier because people weren't doing one run and going, well, I've got to stay
packing up and going to the next track.
It's like, I'll just keep running all night.
Yeah.
Or anyone that's watched my video on Calder Park, I think the first pass, you look over to like the left side of the track and you see people and cars lined up the whole way down. And we all know to fill that spot, you need minimum 200 cars all the way down the drag strip.
Absolutely.
On the left-hand side of the pre-stage.
Yep, absolutely.
Then you see my last pass, which was around 2:30, 2:45.
Yeah.
There was not one car, there was not one person in those.
You were driving straight around. At one stage, you could see you because you drove around Harry or something, didn't you? In the last pass?
This was on the Monday morning.
Oh, the Monday morning. Sorry.
From Monday morning to Monday afternoon. I only made 2 passes.
Yeah, you had a big gap in the middle, and then by the time you ran again,
it was empty.
Because
everyone's gone. Yeah, because everyone's gone. Yeah. All right. So now, what it takes to win the event? What did you have to do prior to the car? What did you go through? What was your plan of attack?
Just keep going.
Yeah.
Look, to win the event.
Not to win the event, but I'm just saying to have a successful car, successful street car. What made you? What did you think was? What did you do leading up to the event, and then what do you think was the key component?
4 or 5 weeks before, we went out and ran. We ran the car at Sydney.
When it went 7
700.
Yeah.
And as soon as it came back, I felt the need to pull the car apart one more time.
In preparation.
And just make sure that I've left nothing on the table.
Yeah. I remember I came by, I saw the motor on the stand,
and
I was ready to go.
I pretty much had a bare shell sitting on the hoist. And I do not work on the car during work hours because we can't. Anyone that knows that walks in and out, George like yourself, I can't physically do that.
No, there's no time for that.
So, we removed the rear axles, we crack tested axles, we went through the diff center, we sent the trans off to Pro Trans in Sydney, and he went through the whole transmission like it was just nothing was left on the table. Me and Joe spoke about the shocks and what we were going to do. Even Scott Cortina from Gazard Brothers, he was like, you know what? I don't know if I want you to drive around on my shocks,
That's the other thing too, yeah.
So I dragged out my old ones from upstairs and I said, right, these are my travelling shocks. And look, maybe I'm doing too much. Maybe I've gone overboard.
But that's why I asked the question.
But until someone else wins it and shows me that you can just drive all week on one set of shocks, I felt like for now, this is my first go. This is what I'm going to do.
That's it. Benchmark.
So we put a trans cooler on the car, which I've never run an external trans cooler because I've got like a Mood Motorsport external one that come back from a pass, plug it in, cools down in 10 minutes, off I go again.
Yep.
Then I saw Paul Bubba the week before have a transmission cooler blow open, and I'm like, I really don't want to experience that.
Yeah, of course, yep.
So we felt when we got to the track, we would just disconnect it and run our external one just to call it between rounds.
That's fair enough.
Or passes.
Yeah.
We went through, when I said we went through the motor, I lifted the heads off the motor, made sure my head gaskets weren't showing signs. I've never been a string of 200 mile an hour passes before, so I wanted to make sure the head gaskets were fine, the motor was fine, checked every bearing in the motor. I didn't pull the whole short apart because I didn't need to.
Yep.
So I did everything I felt I could, and even though we had 4 weeks or 5 weeks, we really had 4 weeks.
Wasn't enough.
It's amazing. We still finished Sunday morning at 8 o'clock in the morning and then drove out to Calder, and it was like we barely had any sleep.
Yeah. Got him. You got to get that too. Nah, fuck off.
No.
But he's going to be all over you, man.
Oh, sorry.
And I was just trying to do the live feed. You fucked me. So the other thing was too, you obviously have to tow a trailer as well with the thing, yeah? How was that? Because it's not like you when you go racing, you've got your own
Look, when you go racing, when I've gone racing,
Yeah.
I've always been used to pulling the trailer out of, a transporter of some sort or an
And
open
having
trailer
it
with
fully
a ute,
stocked up.
But I'm stocked up
Yeah.
with what I've got to use at the racetrack.
Yeah.
Leaving here and trying to work out how much fuel we're going to take, how much oil we're going to take, how much. Like I bought myself a spare transmission to take, thanks to one of my customers. Glenn Foster lended me his transmission. Said, "Here, take that." I had a spare converter. I had a spare diff center.
You have to.
And
that's the thing. You have to.
You don't realise it's easy to start patrolling stuff on the floor, going, "Okay, well."
It's got to fit in the trailer though.
Then you've got a measurement for trailer, so you can't just take a dual axle
Tandem trailer.
tandem trailer.
Yeah.
And you don't want to, at the best
Of course,
times, not
yeah,
with
you
the
don't want to
converter
tow
and the
that.
gearing and
Yeah,
the
It's pretty much just a 6x4 box trailer.
Pretty
Pretty
much,
much, yeah.
yeah.
That's all you're allowed to take.
That's all you can take.
Yeah.
And, we took what we thought was necessary, but let me tell you, I took way too much stuff.
Yeah.
Way too much. And
But it's one of those things, like if you didn't take it...
I'll bet you I would have needed it.
You would have needed it, absolutely. Yeah.
And then we're swapping the wheels. Like, I didn't want to drive around on my pro radials.
Yeah.
Took
Because
one
that's
set
not
line.
smart, because, it did rain
I know.
Tuesday night pretty hard.
Or you get a puncture
Or,
just before you're coming into the
Just
track.
quietly though, I didn't actually recognise the car with the centre lines on it.
no one,
Yeah, it actually just looked.
everyone loved it.
Yeah.
I had guys come up to me Sunday on sign up day, and I don't know if Luke heard some of them asked me, "Oh, aren't you bringing the white one?" The other one, how many do you think I've got? So, no.
I was walking towards the car and I sort of thought, gee, they've done a pretty good job. But for some reason, there was part of me questioned it. And then I just saw Ange pop out of nowhere and he started showing me all the stuff he'd done to it. I'm looking at the car. While he was showing me the car, I'm just looking inside it. It's amazing how different the car looks.
It looked unreal. It actually looked good.
Someone said it looks incognito, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I said to him, I go, it just looks like a 10-second street
well,
next door.
actually, one of Jamie Farmer who run the event, he had a mate over from America, and he texted me and he told me, he goes, "I told my mate from America that runs 7.0s." And the guy goes, "Doesn't even look like it runs a 12-second pass."
It actually did. It looked like one of those tough streeter, small block Ford units. It's just like something that's tough, tough sounding thing, NA thing. But you wouldn't pick it. You wouldn't pick it.
So
Man. It looked unreal.
between looking like that and towing the trailer, it was a pretty cool experience.
Okay, how did the car like towing the trailer? Because I was watching one of your live feeds or your videos, and the car was getting a bit hot.
Yeah, like you leave the track and the temperature's hot outside.
Yeah.
But we didn't expect, or we didn't have anything like the poor guys had last year.
Yeah, of course,
apparently.
yeah.
But everything's hot. As soon as we jumped in the car leaving the track, it was hot.
Man, that's it.
Like,
That's standard. Yeah.
I think a 650 would probably equate to a 750 or a 760 a Kohler. So we drive out the Cape, and like immediately it's at 220, and I'm like, great.
What does it usually sit at? About 180s?
On the freeway, 170, 180,
Yeah.
with no trailer.
Yeah.
When you pull a trailer, that thing changes.
Yeah. How did the trans like it?
I'll be honest with you, it's going to sound terrible, but I did not log oil pressure, oil temp or trans temp, because I knew if I saw
No,
it,
you don't have to. Sometimes
I'd be
it's better not
horrified.
knowing. Sometimes
So
it's
I
better
didn't
not
want to know
knowing.
about it. But look, I found that if I tried to do 110, it set on 220. If I set on about 90 Ks, it went back to 191, 200.
That's what I was saying to Luke too about that. Sometimes the hottie cars, they prefer to cruise it because he says it's not the best of roads either. So you're not always doing 100 Ks. So sometimes sitting at 80, 90 Ks is better for a car like that, mostly with the gearing and converters and shit like that too.
And like you said, at night, you can't see anything out there. It's pitch black. And you said in hindsight you needed some lights on it.
Stupid me, I've got driving lights on the front of it. I don't have them wired up. It's just one of those things we never did. And now I'll know they'll be working perfectly for next year.
Put
For
an
sure.
LED bar light.
Don't worry, I'll get one of those 4-wheel drive LED ones just for travelling on a roof rack or something.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
You don't realise drag challenge. You might it takes stuff like that to help you get through.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's the little things.
A few times we were driving and Jason's just I felt so uneasy. He just turned the lights off.
Oh, you just
We're doing like 80. We're on a back road. We're doing 80. He just turned them off for like 3 seconds, and I go, turn them on. It was just black.
I thought about it.
Just keep you alive.
Oh.
Just know you're alive. Yeah.
I thought about it, but it was Thursday night driving the car. I was like, nah, too much at stake. But, no, it was good. Even getting back to the trailer, you know, I'm used to having everything there, and now you're pulling out boxes, going through boxes, looking for that, looking for this, and you don't realise you're out of that comfort zone that you're used to, and you're working with, you know, I grew up on a farm. My old man was a farmer, and I grew up, and my dad always had buckets with tools. Everywhere we went, there was a bucket with a shifter and screwdriver.
Must be a log thing, man, because my man hasn't got a farm, but he's got buckets of tools. Man.
So what do I find myself? I found myself the whole week with a bucket full of tools, and we're just scrounging around, tipping them on the ground, and that's just that's what it was. That's what drag week was about, you know, and being outside your comfort zone to do what it took, like to take. To win or to get ahead or to make a better run. Yeah.
Are you going to back it up next year?
I'm not going to say back it up, but look.
As in, like you're going to contest it?
Luke had asked me, you know, on the last interview, and I was too fresh, you know.
Defend the title.
But I'm you know, me and Lou are talking about it. God willing, if everything lines up, we're going to have another crack at it.
And everything held up all right engine-wise? Happy?
Yeah, I drove back and, you know, we did the photo shoot for Street Machine, and I'm like, everything seems fine. I think hopefully this Friday night we'll go for a pizza, you know, Docklands. So, yeah, no, everything looks good. Everything looks good. That's good.
But it's actually interesting hearing you say, you know, what you've done at the track and your experience in drag racing has obviously taught you, and which we were talking about before, the challenge of the event is bringing either a drag car or a street car into both scenarios. So you can't have one or the other. You got to have the both. And you know, saying, you know, you brought your trans cooler with you, and you know, you brought your shocks, and like those things are important in a drag car. So having them in a scenario where they're drag orientated, but then you convert the car to run at the street. You got to bring the two together, and maybe that's where a lot of people get caught out. They might have a street car thinking they can have a drag car, or they have a drag car that they think can be a street car, but then you still got to do the Ks, you still got to get here, you still got to get there, and it's obviously your experience in years of drag racing that's thought, all right, driving the car, you know the car better than anyone else. Obviously you've had it for years, so you know how to get to and from places with the car, but then you get to the track and you set the car up for a track car. Do you know what I mean? For a drag car. And then you convert it back, you do your Ks and you go. So it's probably a good lesson for anyone listening. Like, you know, if you want to take the event seriously and, you know, you're talking about someone that's won the event, well, you know, maybe that's what you need to do.
The Thursday, like, he left it pretty late in the day to get that pass in.
Well, it's only because I screwed the first one up. Yeah,
but what I mean, like, you're talking about the trans cooler, things like that. You know, if you didn't have that and you got to sit there trying to cool the car down. Absolutely. And you're looking at the watch stick and track's closing in 30 minutes.
And if you're doing back-to-back passes, the one thing that's going to kill you is trans temps. That's why these boys, they know at a drag event, you got to, the first thing you do once you get back to the pits is cool your box down, man. Plain and simple. And that's what they got, you know, you're able to do right.
Well, you know, and this, you try so hard with everything going on, like you're saying, that you're trying to prepare your street car now to go and make some fast runs. I screwed up. I had the best opportunity on Thursday morning to lay a run down that would have been cracker. And
a lot of cars went fast in that first hour, didn't they?
You know, like
a bunch of cars just ran sevens in a row.
Yeah, the air was perfect. The guys had the track to die for. I mean,
that was back at Swan Hill.
Thursday morning, and
I think I remember seeing. I think you said the same thing in the video on the Street Machine.
Man, I'm telling you, I felt the car when I let go of the button. I was like, here we go, and then it started going higher, and higher, and I was like, no, I don't want to lift. And I had to lift. Come back, I boarded that run. Come back. And I had gone 116 in the 60 foot. Now, some people told me, the 60 foot, there's something going on at Swan Hill because everyone PBs. Well, let me tell you, if I was to overlay my drive shaft with all my other runs, especially my 119 60 foots, and it was no different, I'd say, yeah, okay, there's something going on. But when my drive shaft is up, that was on the pass. And a 1160 foot, I only went 119 when I went 7000. But I missed my tune-up. I didn't have my front springs in the right spot. I didn't have my limiters in the right spot, my front travel limiters. And I wasted that pass.
Unlucky.
And then
that hurts.
The time it took to go and make the changes, line up behind those 200 cars. Yeah. And I must say, I had a lot of nice people let me in the queue without going all the way to the back because we were parked right up the front. And it still took probably 2 hours to get back to the start line.
Wow.
And by then, no track prep guy could have done anything because the track was like, you could fry an egg on it. It was so
too
hot.
Yeah.
And
too hot.
3 runs in a row, we struggled.
Yeah.
So.
That's a shame.
It was a little bit cloudy in the morning.
That's
what
helped.
Then the sun, that sort of midday sun comes out.
Yeah. It's peaking. It peaks at that stage.
Not to mention the 10,000 flies per person.
There you go.
But
there's a few people walking around with the nets.
Yeah.
That much is it?
Oh, that was out of control.
No,
wow.
That would mess my hair up. I wouldn't do that.
Can't have that.
So it was good.
That's good. That's good. So the car's on a mission, obviously. When are you heading back out with it to chase that magic number?
Well, because we did the event with alloy rods, I got a bit excited towards the Friday night. I think in my head I knew I was in front, so I probably did a bit of a bigger burnout than I should have.
I saw that. Yeah, it was a bit of a George from Pack, a bit of a George from Pack burnout.
So let's just say I revved the engine a bit harder than I should have with that burnout. So
what do you turn that thing to? On a normal
on a normal like on a low 7 pass 8300.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man.
Yeah, I have turned it to 9 on the 7.0 pass, just to see what it did, and it was a cool thing to do. Sounds good in the car.
Absolutely, man.
But because of that stupid burnout, now I've got to throw a set of rods in it before we go back out.
Yeah, that's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's
the
life of alloy rods, man.
Yeah,
that's it, man.
But they did the whole week on it, so
yeah,
hats off to the guys at BME. They built me a nice set of rods, and the plan is to put it on the hub dyno.
Yeah, see what it's making.
I've got some things I want to chase on it, and I'm not interested in what it's making. I've just got some things I want to chase. I know I've got some stuff there in the background that I've got to sort out, and I don't know. I'm excited about sorting that out. And now,
will that, if you chase that stuff, will that equate obviously to going quicker at the track, or is it just?
Yeah, well, look, I think it should.
Because you did mention to me you're nowhere near the boost you want to be running with that thing.
And that's what I'm sorting out. Yeah. Right. So if I can find anywhere between 15 and 20 pound, like I know it can.
Yeah.
It's going to be quite interesting to see what. And then I've got the luxury of like trying these new 88s that Precision Turbo has just bought out. That they make another 200 or 300 more than mine.
That's cool.
So
that's cool. And pretty much the car has come alive, obviously, since you moved it to a FuelTech, yeah?
The FuelTech, yeah. Look, the FuelTech's been on it for a while. The cars became more usable once we got the world product block in it, because
you kept on breaking the other ones.
I kept breaking the other blocks, and everyone kept telling me, all the keyboard warriors that kept saying, "Oh, it's his tune-up, or he's hard, or he's doing this, or he's banging on the traction control too hard." And I've still got the same tune-up since 2014.
It's pretty good. So
it's refined, but definitely the FuelTech makes a huge. And I'm not saying it because I sell it and we use it and we support it, but hey.
It works.
It's on some of the fastest door cars in the world, in drag racing and import cars and street cars and so on.
Ever since really the radial racing has come alive in the States, so your radial versus world stuff, it's almost the same time FuelTech has come into the picture as a whole. You know what I mean? Like I never heard of FuelTech before until we started following your lights out and your yellow bullet nationals and all that sort of stuff.
Like you just said, like it's on for a little while there. It was sort of predominantly on
import cars. It's from Brazil.
It's a Brazilian. It's a South American product. Yeah,
you see it on a lot of Mazdas.
Yeah.
Look, I was there when they launched the product in America back in early 2014, and I was lucky enough to hang out with all those guys and some of the Proline customers. But we had a real cool experience with a guy called Mark Mickey who does the transmissions for a lot of the guys in America. Eminem. Yeah. And he's gone 221 mile an hour on the 8th mile with a radial car.
Yeah. Wow.
That guy shows up to a race, that Ducks race or No Mercy. I think it was No Mercy or Lights Out one.
Yeah.
And pretty much pulls a car out of the trailer with no motor. He's got a fresh bullet to go in it, but doesn't know what to do because he's got a problem with the motor burning up. He's never qualified or never done well at this race. Mm-hmm. There's $50,000 up for grabs, and he wants to have a crack at it. He knows he's got the product to do it, or the equipment to do it. And I was lucky to be there on the Monday morning, and the guys from FuelTech said, well, let's bang one on there. If it's not that, we'll just remove it free of charge. You know what I mean? Like, we just want to see if it helps your problem. And to see that guy fire up.
What do you have before on it?
Oh, I can't remember.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
To see him fire the car up, seeing it like go out and do a burnout, do a 60-foot hit, come back, a 330 hit, and then doing an 8th mile pass. On his first 8th mile pass, he PBs. And then goes on to qualify in the top 10, then goes on to make 3 rounds of racing. And to see that really taught me a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you've mentioned that to me before, actually, that story.
It's pretty cool. It's actually on YouTube.
Yeah.
All the guys from Street Outlaws, they tune their own cars. And that's what the guys from FuelTech have tried to do is create a system that the end user you don't need to tune all day and all night and all week and all month and all year. They wanted to give you something that you could get on top of as soon as possible.
It's a closed loop AFR, nice and simple. Yeah.
I'm still freaking out that you can run 220 in the 8th on a road.
Well, I know, it's crazy to think of.
How is that possible?
That is true, but...
Yeah. And for those who don't think it's a real number, well, he's backed it up like 100,000 times now. So,
that's unreal, man.
And they're talking about going even faster the next race. You know what I mean?
But was it a similar thing with Keith as well, Berry? Yeah, with when he was running the LS in the Corvette.
He was running the LS,
and he was doing the same thing. He was hurting heads or something, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was having a lot of dramas, and I was there, and that was probably one of the first cars that they showcased the product on.
Yeah. I think you've told me that.
They couldn't even spool it up with a particular cam design that was known to run fast in that.
Yeah.
But it just didn't have what the system previously couldn't do what it wanted.
What you wanted it to do.
What you wanted it to do. Yeah. So, and to see that car progress into the 3-second zone in the 8th mile was pretty cool.
Unreal, man.
Back in the day,
Yeah. Because that car, they'd done that, 2-3 years ago almost now?
Oh, 2014.
Yeah, 15.
What's the quickest radial in the 8th now? What are they down to?
If I'm not mistaken, I still think it's either Mark Mickey or Andrew Aleppa. It's between those two guys, I believe, with a 361 or 362 at the 8th mile.
Wow.
Which for those that don't understand what that means, I think our door slammers that run 560s or 570s over the quarter mile, I think they go around 370s.
Yeah.
That's unreal, man. On a rail.
And I think they are two...
Are they turbocharged? Or...
One of them's one.
Look, I believe the nitrous cars, because of the weight break on the nitrous cars...
Would the 8th mile suit
now the nitrous cars are like on par with the turbo cars.
Yeah.
But the turbo cars are carrying a lot more weight.
Yeah.
Not taking anything away from the nitrous guys. It's just that's how it goes. You know, the turbo guys can make that much power. The nitrous guys can apply it as early as possible, but the turbo guys have to feed it on at a really finicky rate. You know.
I've seen some of the videos. FuelTech or ProLine have been shown on those hub dynos.
On the hub dynos,
The nitrous cars are just unreal to watch. The candles lit, and it's just like watching a live bomb.
It is, yeah. That really is pretty cool.
It's actually quite fascinating how they've now got the cars simulating a quarter mile pass.
Yeah, on the dyno,
On the dyno.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's like one of the last cars that was on there, Chris Patrick's Pro Mod Nitrous Camaro. He said it was the best thing. Like I had a brand new car. There was a lot of things you don't know if they're going to work, and you didn't have to travel to a racetrack and spend a whole weekend trying to iron out bugs. Put it on that thing, and within
at least that's the engine side done. Then at the track, you just concentrate on tyres and shocks and adjustments on forelegs and shit like that. You know, so you're not doing both.
No, but
so at least it takes one out of the equation. Eh?
to put a couple of runs on the motor and have a tune-up established before you even get to the track.
Yeah, absolutely. Then you're sorted.
Yeah.
And then you can check your torque figures and stuff like that, and you can adjust to suit the tune up
they,
the track.
I mean, they tune fuel numbers to, you know, so like that was the biggest part for them, was just chasing those fuel numbers, so they knew their tune-up was good to go down the track.
That's cool.
I know you go to the States a lot. You got a pretty good relationship with ProLine. There must be a few stories there, Frank, from your US trips.
Oh, there's heaps. What happens on US trips, stays on
Not so much.
Apart from herpes, that shit comes back with you.
More, you know, the drag stuff. You must see some pretty cool shit going on there.
No, there's no doubt. I mean, that's the pinnacle level. There's so many. I mean, look, they've got such a large customer base. It's just it's so nice when you're there. You know, they make you feel welcome.
Yeah.
To the point where, you know, you can walk in and out of trailers, and you know, I'm lucky I get to see or overlook, not overlook, but look over their shoulders of the greatest tuners in radial racing. You know, and to see how they do things. And
yeah, I mean, I've done a little bit of work with them in Sydney a few times, and they're very, very easy to deal with.
Very easy, but very professional, and what they can do and what I get to see them do is just amazing. You know, very talented people for sure. You know,
I saw I know this is probably old news now, but they'd released an engine, a Pro-charged.
They've been working close with
a crank-driven
Pro-charger,
one.
and they've done the whole. I believe they've done the whole crank drive and package, and I think now it's even to the point where I think. Between Eric and Steve Petty, Eric Dillard, the owner of ProLine, and Steve Petty had some great ideas with a Pro-charger, and they knew that put together in the right chassis and the right combination, done exactly how they pictured in their head would work best, set Eric out to go and buy a shop car, which he's always been dead set against, not to race customers and whatever. But at the same time, there was an opportunity there that they had to showcase this new combination product, and basically, they laid it down in 11 runs. This thing was like the fastest Pro-charger car in the world. They went on to like a 50k race, a Pro Mod invitation race, and I think they went to the finals.
Yeah, you don't see much of it here, really, do you? Like, no. So I know Mark from SAS. It's got a crank drive on his LS, but it's not something that's used a lot in Australia, is it?
But the biggest problem we got here, I mean, like, we're so far away. It costs so much money to get something so big and heavy sent to us.
It is, yeah.
Then exchange rate changes the dollar amount of what it's really worth. And then if you have a hiccup, it starts all over again.
Yeah,
and
it's true.
We just don't have... You know, like, okay, a 481X, a used 481X, you can go and buy one from ProLine between $40,000 and $47,000.
By the time you get it here, though,
by the time you get it here, it's like $70,000.
Yeah.
And then you got to dress it up, injectors, fuel system, blah blah blah.
Yeah. It comes unaffordable. Not unaffordable. There's guys out there that can afford it, but it's, you know,
it just
narrows that margin of who can afford it.
In saying that, all of a sudden there's like 10 of them in the country. You know what I mean? So it's like
that's right. As long as
it's happening.
Yeah, I remember when just after the GFC happened and our dollar was high. I remember just looking at a little Mitsubishi.
I thought you were going to say 481 next for the Mirage or something.
No, but you could buy, because obviously this, the economy was in the toilet. You could buy, say, an Eagle kit, crank rods, pistons, for $2,000, Australian.
Yeah. It was a good time.
That would have been a good time to buy it. If that was the case, you never got any money to buy anything.
Yeah, I actually had a couple of guys buy cars, and it was like astonishing on how much it affects our exchange rate. Really affects us, and could make our life so much easier if it went the other way. But once again,
but it hurts other industries. It's not necessarily.
Yeah, I don't know what it does outside. I mean, I'm one way minded with this, our automotive industry, that I don't even think about what it does outside. And yeah, that's a good point. I'd be curious to know how that it can affect. But
so moving on to Dandy engines, you guys. I noticed you've been doing a few more, import engines, if that's what you want to call them. There's a lot of 6 cylinders. Every time I see here, there's a 2J or an RB or a Barra. Or
as long as it's got pistons in it, we like it. Nothing against the rotor guys, but they can keep them. They can keep them. But no, they're a cool motor too. But we do a lot of the 6-cylinder machining. Some of the we're lucky enough to have good alliance with some of the best Melbourne 6-cylinder engine builders. Where we can do machining for them and cover their service, but look, the 6-cylinder scene, I can't believe how big it is. It's huge. It's quite scary how big it is.
A few years ago, it's sort of I thought that scene's had a bit of a lull, and now in the last 2 years,
thanks to the Barra came out, it just went up.
But it's almost like because the Barra went up, it's almost like
everyone
screw that.
Up.
I don't want a Ford. I'm going to go step my RB Commodore up. Now everyone's building full on
RBs and 2Js.
RBs and 2Js.
Yeah.
You look at now, to buy an XD or an XE Falcon, they're going through the roof. Everyone wants one all of a sudden. If it's, for one of Jason's packages or George's packages, there's so many options now that you can do with a 6-cylinder. And these guys have proven the V6. Like, whoever thought we'd see a V6 run as fast as what you've made one go? Like,
it happens.
But that's just the engineering from one person's mind going, I know this motor can go fast.
In saying that though, right, I'll tell you what I've noticed. The 6-cylinders can handle more boost. They haven't been able to hold the heads down, okay? That's what's been killing the 6-cylinder scene for a long time, is boost, right? You just keep feeding it boost, it'll keep making power. It's a pump, so it keeps doing it. It's not till Dandy has incorporated a drag racing package of a firing kit, which helps still. I had the same problem. 25 pounds of boost, my V6 was lifting heads. I could hear it in the car. I can hear boost escaping out of the car. It was that obvious, right? I pulled the head gaskets off, they were torched. What was I doing wrong? Tune-up. Tune-up's fine, right? Like, I know personally the tune-up was fine in it. I come to the boys at Dandy's. I said, Frank, help me out, do this for me. No worries, bring us the block. They step the block up, they do the machine work, put the firing kit, put it in. Next thing you know, the thing's holding 37, 38 pounds of boost without a worry in the world, not even moving a bit of water. So having that ability to run more boost because of the services that the boys have offered, right? And it's not a simple thing, right? Because the rings that you are putting into the stuff, it takes science to get that right. It's a mixture. It's an alloy.
We can't take all the credit.
I'm not saying it is, because you use someone else that does it for you. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the machining process, and bringing all that to a customer, to the end product, and saying, I can help you with your problem. Then no worries, man. And I think that's where it went, because before that, it's the same with when E85 came out, or by the time people caught on to E85, what were we running? 98, or C16. right? And people are either torching stuff or not following the tune-up right, whatever the case, yeah? But then all of a sudden, E85 comes out, and let's be honest, E85, you've got a window, yeah? You've got a leeway. So it gives you the ability to run more boost and run more timing and make more power. And then all of a sudden, everyone's E85 in the car, right? As a street cars, right? And it's a progression of, all right, now we're running so much E85, but we're lifting the heads. What do we do next? The boys come into it, yeah? They give you a firing kit. All of a sudden, you're running more boost. It's like, all right, now we're running more boost. What's next? And then you start. It's how the system goes, yeah? It
was like Lou, working with the guys at Proline and coming up, they came up with the Torrington bearing. Everyone was chewing that thrust, trying to spool the car, convert the pressure, blah, blah, blah. It took nothing to knock out a thrust bearing. And, thanks to the guys at Proline giving us a bit of their, like dribbling down some information down to us.
Man. That's all it takes.
Gave us a service to open up for people,
That's it.
It doesn't stop. Every day there's someone doing something, and it's going to come out and be used on our next bill or our next something project of some sort, because we're all pushing the envelope. Everyone's pushing the envelope.
Absolutely.
I'll take my hats off to yourself, Tunnel Vision, Bennett and Yellows. I mean, those guys are pushing the envelope. I mean, look how fast Ricker's car went at Drag Challenge.
Yeah.
And it lasted the whole week,
Yeah, we mentioned that before. His car was flawless.
Yeah.
Didn't miss a beat.
And I still think of Jason going back last year, I think it was, when he put his car together for the first time. Was that last year or the year before? Year before.
He finished it as he was driving. He finished it and drove it to call it.
And that's what I'm saying. And then he, even the year after that, which was last year, he drove it to Adelaide. I thought the guy was insane, So these guys are pushing the envelope. With George doing what he does, Jason doing what he does, Ben doing what they're doing. And it's forcing us to make sure that we've got a service to keep machining and providing.
That's it, man. That's all it is.
Our side of it, because, look, to have a machine shop, it's a pain in the ass. It's a lot of equipment you got to be on top of. And that's where I'm lucky, because my cousin Lou that runs the joint or owns Dandy Engines, the final Dandy Engines, he's not into drag racing like we are.
Yeah.
No. I saw him at the track maybe, would it have been a year ago?
Oh, we might have come once or twice.
Yeah, and I said, what are you doing here? And he goes, you're the 30th person who said that to me today.
Look, I can see Lou saying that too.
I'm lucky in that same sense that Proline's got the same. There's an owner of Proline that no one gets to see on social media. No one gets to hear about him, but Doug is the brains behind it.
That's cool.
He's, cool. And Lou is the brains behind here. Not does he only run the business and make sure that we all get paid, and he's got to take care of 10 guys, and listen to who's bitching about what and what engine's not machined, and he still manages to work harder than all of us by doing the flame rings or doing the Torrington bearing or the line boring and putting steel caps on RB30s.
Because he's still got that old school talent for that to operate the machine work and do that right machining. Because it's the same with the grooves in the block for the firing. He's the only one that can do it or does it.
You tell that guy that it can't be done, he will prove you wrong.
Yeah, he's a machine.
He's an old school machinist.
That's it, and that's you can't find that anymore.
Mate, they used to make their own tooling to do the job.
Yeah.
And that plays a big part, because most people think I have a magic wand for some of the things that we do that stands out. No, half the time it's just being mechanically correct.
Yeah, absolutely. That was like when I first got onto you guys. You always think that Frank's the face of Dandy Engines. Well, he's
everyone thinks I own Dandy Engines.
Yeah,
well, let me tell you, I don't.
But you're out there. But you're out there, though.
If I did, we'd be doing this broadcast from a yacht on the corner of Monaco Grand Prix. And I'd be in a road.
Look, it's it's pretty cool. And moving to the new premises where we're in now, where we're coming from today, has expanded the business massively.
When we moved everything out and we stood back in the driveway and we looked into those two factories,
it's like, how did you fit everything? It was dark, man. That's when I first got to know you too.
But no, it's all good.
He's ready to go.
So,
You want to come in,
you wanna
Nathan?
come in,
mate?
Nathan.
Come in.
Come do one more run. I've changed it.
Oh,
Make 760.
there you go, guys.
Done.
Looks like
All right, that's
my
all right.
broadcast has been cut short because I've got to go back on the dyno.
Someone's coming here and we got to hear that, Alice.
Fucking, you need to come out. Like, fucking, it stinks in here.
Oh well, that's a wrap, I guess.
There's a few kind words there from Nathan.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it, Nathan.
Done. Well, thanks,
I
Frank.
say thank you, guys.
Thanks, Frank.
For, letting me have a chat with you.
We've been trying to get you on for a long time, though. Let's be honest.
Wonderful.
You've just been busy. Obviously, lead up to running 7 triple O's and drag challenge. But then, between me and Luke as well, finding the time to get 3 people to consult together isn't easy.
You have to do it after hours.
You have to, yeah. So, we're glad to have you, mate. Thank you for being kind enough to spare us your time.
I hope people are not getting sick of listening to me.
Oh no, that's fine, mate. You know what? It's a good story. It's a good story. It's good to hear the background, and it's good to hear where you come from and what's happened and where we are today, and obviously, who you can help in the future, I guess. But if anyone can learn anything from your experience for drag challenge and take that into next year's event, man, so be it, man. It is what it is.
We might have you on again another time to talk about a few other things.
Yeah, we've got heaps more to do. We could do it for ages. We weren't interrupted by Nathan.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, mate.